Welcome back to another episode of Another Dimension. I think this is number 11. Probably going to be the best one yet. I'm Trask.
Or the last one.
I'm
Quinn.
I'm Taylor.
Hop right into our last week's contest winner, Adam Faust. The question was, what kept Matt in the hospital? And the answer to that was a bug bite. Thanks to everyone for submitting. Keep them coming in. We appreciate it. Thanks for everything you've been watching, subscribing, doing all that kind of stuff. It's been awesome.
Adam Faust, my cousin.
Yeah.
I think we're going to get him on here sometime.
Think we'll get him on here?
I think he likes to talk.
Yeah.
He's a farmer. Like, farmers have a lot of time. When it's not harvest season.
Farmers have a lot of time. They don't work. They don't do anything.
No, but Adam...
I was kidding.
Adam, thanks for listening. He's a really cool guy and probably one of the biggest inspirations you ever meet.
Is that a teaser for the...
Innovative and always changing, and he's conquering the world. So, yeah, he'll be...
A teaser for an
one of those episodes. Yeah, it might be.
Awesome. I can't wait.
This week's... Well, let's do the vocab of the week.
All right. You're the man in charge for that.
The city is Circle City.
Denmark, Wisconsin. Home of the Circle Tap.
No.
All right. Darn it.
Taylor.
Circle City.
Yep.
That one I don't know. I'm stumped on that one.
This for a second. The Circle City. Circle City.
You're out of time.
What region is it in?
We go through the state numerous times a week.
Chicago?
No. That's the Windy City.
I knew that. Mm-hmm. I don't know why I said that. We go through it.
Circle City is Indianapolis in reference to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Oh. Makes sense.
Gotcha.
I got to start watching NASCAR more. Turn left.
We got a really cool question, which we're going
What's the other vocab?
I don't have another vocab. I just got a question.
Make one up.
Mile High City.
Denver.
Okay. So the question this week comes from the matriarch of the Weidman family.
Okay.
So shout out to Tina. And I'm not going to give the answer, but there's a little history here. So in 1967, Jane Mansfield was an actress and model. Okay. She was born out in Pennsylvania by where John grew up.
Okay. John's our shop guy.
Yep.
Shop manager.
So they know. So they got a personal, connection to it, I guess. So Jane Mansfield was killed in an auto accident, and they came out with a piece of equipment that's on all trucks and trailers, all trailers, that is known as a Mansfield bar. And it still holds true today, but I want to know what the current term for the Mansfield bar is.
Can I answer that?
No.
I don't know it, but can I throw a guess?
No. We're going to answer it in the next episode.
So are we going to do a question this week?
The question is, what is another term for the Mansfield bar? And I'm not giving the answer. They're going to have to look it up.
Okay. And then if they respond and it's correct, they're entered for a chance to win.
Correct.
Probably something sweet.
Yeah.
Maybe we could give them a Mansfield bar.
Sure.
Think we got a couple extra ones laying around? Cool.
Yeah.
We could mail it to them.
Sure.
That'd be sweet.
So,
all right.
And there's some legislation out right now that kind of relates to it, and we can talk about that next week.
Okay.
Another recommendation thanks Tina for listening and posing the question
and supporting John. I mean, on numerous times we've had to have him drive and do this, and he never says no. So thank you for that.
It takes a family.
It takes a family.
The other thing that somebody threw out there is just to start
referencing.
Relaying the message.
Trucking info for the week, which we take for granted. One of them is Blitz Week's coming up, guys. It's going to be in May. I don't know if the dates have been published yet. I'm sure they probably have been. Next week we'll lay out the exact range on when it's going to be. Just start preparing for it. Make sure you guys are staying on top of those things. You should be already, but just
for those who don't know what that is every state, I think, in the nation has a 72-hour blitz where they focus on truck safety.
Lights.
A lot of times they will pick a certain
The last one was brakes, I want to say.
Yeah. So, I mean, they inspect the entire vehicle, but they really focus on brakes and.
Yeah. So, I mean, the numbers have, I believe, been trending downward in those because people have been becoming more cognizant of safety, which is an awesome thing. But make sure you guys are doing your part. If something's wrong, report it.
Right.
Those kind of things.
The last thing you want to do is have an accident.
Yeah.
So
Or a bad inspection, to be honest.
Yeah, but that's part of doing your job and your pre and post trip. So I guess for our guys, definitely report if something is out of.
And thanks for reporting if something is wrong.
Sean, again, listeners probably don't realize this. I mean, we get inspected at the scale all the time. And there's like level 1, level 2, level 3. I believe level 3 is a walk around. Level 2 is something.
A little bit more in depth.
And level 1 is
full ringer.
Yeah, they go through your logs. They go through your brake stroke.
Do they still do the bleed down test, the pump down test?
I'm sure they do. Yeah. So Sean got his first level 1 out in Maryland this week.
Yep.
And then when you pass, like he did, you get a sticker in the window.
For the year, I think they're color coded every year.
Yeah. That doesn't mean they're not going to look at you again, but
it helps.
It just shows that you were through one and
passed it.
Yeah.
So thanks, Sean.
Thanks, Sean, and thanks to the shop guys for.
Yeah.
And actually, Sean even came in and told John, and he's like, John, high five, like, hey, the shop is responsible for a lot of this.
Awesome.
So,
great work, guys.
Yeah.
What are we going to talk about this week?
I had the Mansfield bar, thanks to Tina, but.
Tina. We don't have anything to talk about? Should we just end it after shoutouts?
No. No.
What happened this week? I guess what were the ups? What were the downs? Trucking, non-trucking related. What can we elaborate on?
Well, it's
still
busy.
I want to say thanks. I had a family emergency come up. Everyone here stepped up. My little guy ended up having to get some stitches in his cheek, and everyone stepped up and covered for me. So I want to say thank you for that. I'm back after being off yesterday, but it was very, very refreshing walking in, everything handled today. So thanks to everyone, Chad, Dave, you, the shop, the guys respecting my time. So I really appreciate that.
No problem. This week,
crazy busy.
Workload has been there. And I don't think it's going to stop. I really don't.
I've read some articles that say 2021 should be like this the whole year. Then I've read other articles that say it could stop tomorrow. I say run it while you can. Do it. Make what's the saying? Make hay while the sun shines.
Make hay while the sun shines. Our guys were pretty busy this week on the road.
Yeah.
Everybody will be in tonight.
Yep.
Friday night, which is a win. Couple guys on vacation, couple people, getting the spring break itch, myself included. So
you're heading out?
I think so.
Yeah.
So we'll see. It's been a while. So I don't know. I think
it's a good thing. We were talking about how you always felt like Good Friday was when the faucet really turned on, and I'll be honest, I hope it doesn't turn on anymore.
If it does, we're gonna have to reassess.
Yeah, we're gonna have to find some robot drivers or something.
Historically, it always seemed like that. Even in the good years, it got better at Good Friday, and in the slow years, that's when everything just kind of turns on.
Yep.
At least up here.
A big thing up here, and I would guess the northern states and the guys that deal with, I shouldn't say the guys, the states that deal with the winters.
Well, and frost laws are going to be coming off.
Machinery is going to be moving, which means pipe's going to be laid in the ground, which means rebar and all that kind of stuff's got to go, which means machines can now travel. There's no laws, and I mean it's just all around a good time for the flatbed industry.
Right.
Much so the time between Thanksgiving and the Super Bowl is for the refrigerated industry.
I saw one of our competitors today, a flatbed guy, Pulling reefers.
What color?
The reefers were white.
What color were the trucks?
I'm not going to say. But so that tells me that market's hot too.
Yeah.
Don't have any experience or
I think the industry's just hot all around. It's a really good time to be in transportation. Hopefully it draws some young blood to the transportation.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
So reading a couple articles, there's always a driver shortage or whatever you want to call it. I would say there's too many trucks on the road, right? Like,
yeah.
But whatever, however you turn it, there's a driver shortage. Well, to add to that, all the schools shut down during COVID. So they weren't training anybody. So, and a lot of people, when it got slow, opted out for different careers. So that's just going to make it worse.
And there's really no filler programs. I mean, if we've all been to high school. Everyone's got a career day that comes in, and you know what? No one ever comes and talks about trucking. It's the trades or it's go to college.
I went to a career day for my daughter in like 3rd grade.
Yeah.
She begged me. I'm like, all right, it's not something I really was comfortable doing. Anyway, so I go, she wanted me to bring a truck, and it was raining, and the counselor who had it set up advised me not to bring a truck because all these little kids are going to walk outside. Yep. They're going to get wet. They're going to get sick, whatever. Well, anyway.
You brought the truck.
I didn't.
Oh.
So another student in her class, the student's dad and grandfather own a trucking company at De Pere. Well, guess what?
They brought a truck.
I was in trouble for 3 months. She was not happy. It was.
You let her down.
I let her down, but
sorry, Faith.
Sorry, I don't know where that came from, but
we could maybe bring a truck to her school this year.
We could. I don't think I turned anybody onto trucking in 3rd grade though.
No, and I mean that's just all in all. It's kind of. I love this industry, and the reasons I love it. I mean, it's different every day. You get to work with some pretty cool people depending on where you work, right? Mm-hmm. It's casual, but it's professional if you work at the right place. You have the hole-in-the-wall places that are like smoking cigarettes at their desks, mm-hmm. and then you have the big-time Schneiders of the world and stuff like that are very, very corporate. And if that should draw every type of person in the United States to transportation. You could either wear cutoffs or whatever you want to do to your job. You could dress like we dress, or you could dress in a suit and tie. Mm-hmm. So it's not just, or you could drive, be a mechanic or whatever. It's not just a blue collar or a white collar job. I really enjoy it. I love that it's different. I love that it's challenging. I love putting the puzzle together. I don't know.
And I think we like to have fun.
Yeah.
I mean, when Keith just got back, did you hear his story?
No.
Keith came in, he's like, hey, I almost got in a fight at the truck wash. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, some guy told me that the color scheme on my truck was the ugliest color scheme he's ever seen.
Was he colorblind?
So Keith told him to screw off. And I was like, you did what? And he's like, I'm just kidding. The guy really liked it. Thanks, Keith.
That's awesome.
So, we like to have fun. But
it is what it is. I mean, I think it scares some people away.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of opportunity. There's a lot of fun. I mean, HR, office help, clerical, all that kind of stuff mm-hmm. all goes into it. It's not just trucks going down the road. There's a lot of back-end support that's needed as well.
And we're not corporate. Like at least we're not corporate.
Do we want to talk about core values and being corporate?
Sure.
What are your thoughts on core values?
I had a spirited conversation the other night with my wife, who she's not corporate either, but
she's way more corporate than us.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
But they, and it's a marketing thing, right, Taylor? We we tried to we were looking at some other job ads the other day. This is where this all stems from. Looking at some job ads, and every one of them was the same. And every company had listed, this is our mission statement, these are our core values. And when you break them all down, they're all the same thing, just in different words.
What did you say about them? We can bleep it.
We can change, yeah. I said that if we need to tell you what our core values are, you're not a good fit for here. And they all said the same thing. Oh, we're going to treat people with dignity and respect, and this is the greatest place to work. And well, you know what? If you as an employee aren't getting treated as respect,
why are you working
you
there?
should look for a different job.
Right?
I just don't like that corporate fluff.
There's a reason all of the core values on all those job ads are the same. In order to run a successful company, that's what you need. You shouldn't have to tell people that you're doing the things that you need to do in order to run a successful company.
I would agree.
Correct.
It's almost like they were talking themselves into them. Like, all right, we need to treat people with respect. How are we going to?
Yeah.
Like, sorry, Taylor.
No, I'm so happy right
now.
Like,
how are we going to do that? Well, you have to say please, and you have to say thank you, and you know what? You probably can't tell people to off.
Well, right. If you need a constant pat on the back for doing your job, I'm sorry, you're probably not going to get it here.
Yeah.
You're going to get a pat on the back, but it might not be the way you expect it. Like, we all show that around here, but it's not kindergarten class.
Yeah. Everyone doesn't get a trophy.
Yeah.
Like,
it's not the YMCA.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I'm going to do that.
What?
I'm getting everybody trophies. And actually, John did that. What the hell
what
was
are you
it
going to
for?
get on the top?
John got everybody. I ordered the smiley stickers.
I remember that.
Because everybody was complaining about stuff.
Yeah.
So he gave a smiley sticker to everybody who did what they were supposed to do.
Yeah. I think we were going down a loophole with the core values and the mission statement. And you know what? We're firm believers, and we don't know where we're going, but we'll get there. I mean, that's the first thing you said to me when you hired me. And Taylor's heard that 100 times. Chad's heard that 100 times. Chad will just say it all the time when he overbooks freight. He's like, we don't know where we're going, but we'll get there.
Yeah.
But
if you have, you have to have a goal, right?
Absolutely.
I don't. I mean, I guess my goal is to stay in business and provide a good job and company for everyone.
Yeah.
But if your goal is to get to 50 trucks, what happens if you don't get there?
Yeah.
And what happens when you do? I mean, I don't know.
Celebrating the successes.
Yeah, and that's, you should celebrate successes. A win's a win, and you should feel good about that. But for me, it's, I don't know. Hey, I woke up this morning, I got to go to work, and
yeah, and you know what? If you hit a goal, like, what are you going to do after that? Like, it's not fun after you hit a goal. Like,
we are like the anti everybody right now.
Yeah, probably, and that's okay. But okay, yeah, it's fun chasing a goal.
And that.
But what are you going to do when you get there? Like, we might as well make this harder or do something else. It's probably why a trucking company started a marketing arm. You know what I mean? Like, I'll be completely honest with you.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's intriguing.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, it made sense.
It made sense, and it made sense for Quick Transport to do that. But
I mean, we set a revenue goal at the beginning of this year,
yeah,
and we're not going to hit it.
No.
We know that already.
Yeah.
But okay,
we're still gonna find a way.
We're still gonna do the best we can, and we're going to hopefully be profitable. You know,
we set it high enough. I hope that even if we don't hit it, like, we're still okay.
Still win.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, what you see is what you get. I don't know.
And maybe that's a first impression thing.
What color was the competitor's truck? That's still bugging me.
He's got a couple different colors. It's somebody that I talk to on at least a monthly basis.
Okay.
At least a monthly basis.
Okay. That's been in my head this whole time.
So, I mean, first impressions should tell you what the core values are, in my opinion.
Yeah. And Taylor hit on that when he moved in. Like when he moved in, when he came in, he just felt like he got a good vibe here. And I'm not saying everyone's going to get a good vibe here, because if you're looking for hand holding, hey, good job, Billy, you really did a good job today. That's like you said, this isn't the place.
And don't you know that when you walk into other places too, like, a shopping place or wherever.
Yeah.
I mean, I know there's a vendor of ours up the road, and you walk in there and they're on pins and needles and they're all staring at their computer, doing their thing, and it's like pulling teeth to get help. I'm guessing because that's the way they're managed.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I think what's that core value?
Dictatorship.
Right?
Control.
Control, yeah.
You know what your employees are doing every step of the day, and that makes you feel comfortable, which can be interpreted in different ways.
But then how are they ever going to
think outside the box,
succeed and think outside the box and come up with
start a
better
marketing division?
They start a marketing division.
They don't. And some people don't want that.
In that scenario, it's a system.
Yep, exactly.
The McDonald's way. Like the Big Mac's built this way. Do it. You can hire a monkey.
Yeah.
But also another reason why I like transportation is because you have to think. My brain is continuously going. Like,
obviously.
Always. Like I just don't. I can't stop thinking. I don't know. I wish I could. But that's, if you're a person that wants to think of ideas and do that, this industry needs that. It's so old school in a sense of what other industries are. I mean, it's probably the least progressive industry.
And you don't have to change the wheel. It's a pretty basic industry.
If you think about it,
you can do some improvements.
Yeah, and there's improvements on fuel efficiency. We've talked about that. There's improvements on trucks every year. I mean, we can't do that. That is not our realm. But the truck manufacturers are always fighting for that, like miles per gallon or comfort or,
right.
What's the word I'm thinking of? Accessories, like what?
Driver friendly.
Make the experience better. But we have the opportunity to say, hey, we could do this better. And what's an example of that?
Well, but when you break it down, it's still
we pick stuff up and we deliver it.
Point A to point B.
Yeah.
I mean, just like the horse and carriage and the milkman, it's a pretty basic business.
Yeah. And no one's really reinvented that wheel since before time. Has it gotten more efficient? Has it gotten more technological? Yeah, it has. But if you take that and run with that, it makes everything so much easier. I mean, tell the story about another one of our friends over on the other side of the lake that used to call back to the office with the collect calls.
Oh, yeah. I mean, before he told me a story before
cell phones.
Trask didn't know what a payphone was.
I did too.
Or you didn't know what a collect call was.
No, why would I? I've never used one.
So
I remember that
back in the day. I mean, you'd go to the restaurant, to the diner, you'd sit down in the booth, and there'd usually be a phone there, or there's a whole wall of payphones, and you'd wait in line for the next person.
I saw that on The Hangover.
Did you?
Yeah, when they check into Vegas.
Okay.
You got a cell phone bank or a phone bank here?
There you go. So he, to save money, because you had to pay for long distance, if he'd be on the road, he would make a collect call, which you push 0, the operator would come on, and you would call whoever you're calling. You call your wife, and the operator would say, do you accept a collect call from Quinn? And if she accepted the call, she would have to pay for it.
Yep.
But if she accepted a call, then she knew there was something that needed to be discussed or business to be done. And if she declined it, he knew everything was good and he went back to work. So those days are long gone. But that's
one thing. I mean, the cell phone or email has really made this industry better. But there's things in here like paperless. There's a big push for going paperless. There's a big push for submitting bill of ladings and e-logs and monitoring drivers and doing this and doing that. What's going to be the next big thing? I don't know.
Driverless trucks.
You think so?
I think a driverless or autonomous car hit a squad car the other day. Yeah. Did you see that, Taylor?
No.
Yeah.
Shocker.
Doesn't surprise you, yeah. So I
don't see that.
Maybe in some sort of line haul, big hub operation, but certainly not last mile.
What's the last mile?
Not what we're gonna do.
What's the last mile?
Last mile from. So we always talk about that too. If you can get from Wisconsin to Georgia, you're doing all right. But then the last mile from that interstate to the delivery, that's where stuff goes wrong. That's where you get lost. That's where you panic because you made a wrong turn, and that's where
you're off the highway and you're not on a truck route.
Yes, you make a bad decision, and the last mile is the most important to me.
Yep.
The directions and getting into the right driveway or whatever.
Yeah.
But back to the autonomous vehicle. I mean, how are they going? How are they going to load an excavator and then drive it someplace?
Yeah, I don't see it so much on the flatbed side, especially on the overdimensional stuff. Now, if this podcast was 75 years ago, it wouldn't have been because podcasts weren't a thing. They wouldn't have been like, hey, trucks would never get 8 miles a gallon.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I don't want to say that there's not a way.
Well,
there probably is.
We could spin this another way. Like this could be a totally another podcast where they are let's just say UPS, talking about UPS. Hey, this is going to work. We're going to fill these trailers. They're going to put them in a driverless vehicle. They're going to know the route. And there's a UPS right here off the highway. If they only have to come in and off the highway or go to a big marshaling yard or something,
that may work.
That may work for that kind of thing.
But then you have a local guy or it's someone that has to go out and deliver it. I mean, Amazon, I think, tried it with the drones for a while. Okay. That's packages on a small scale. I don't think we're going to see machines flying over our heads like any time in our lifetime, but I would say at one point, I mean, it may happen. I don't know. That's weird. It's weird to think about.
Yeah.
You got anything else?
No, we got to do some shout outs. Nettie, Pete Hippus, the Stashix.
You're going to get me yelled at.
I know. Pete Hippus, thanks for yelling at Trask.
The guys, drivers.
Yeah.
I know it's been busy. Thank you for everything you do. Amy, I'm sorry I didn't respond to you on LinkedIn. Like the 3 messages you sent asking about when the podcast was going to be released. Well, here it is now. Who else?
Episode number 11 is in the books. Thank you again to everybody who listened today or whenever it is you're listening or watching. Like we said, we don't know where we're going, but eventually we'll get there. Real quickly, make sure to follow us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify Podcasts. Leave us a review as well. That's really important for us in terms of growing the podcast and getting in front of more people in the industry. So if you can, give us a rating, tell us what you think, leave us a message, a comment. Do that on YouTube as well. We're trying to collect as many different ideas in regards to topics to talk about in the future. So please send us any type of feedback. Other than that, make sure to follow us on all of our social media channels. Don't forget to submit your answer to this week's question. And have a good one, guys.